Oh my goodness. Don't you just love spring? Look at these spectacular rhododendrons. This is the best time of the year without doubt. Welcome to the Garden Gurus. I'm Trevor Cocker and we have got some brilliant garden inspiration for you today. Here's what's coming up. This week on the show, Melissa shares the health benefits coloured vegetables can bring to you. Bonnie gets her gloves dirty and I share the secrets to transplanting success in the garden.
Dig, 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 dig in the ground. I got my spade, I got my hoe, I got my rake and I'm ready to go.
When we need to achieve something in the garden, we look for a particular tool to do so. And the same goes for when we're choosing a pair of gardening gloves. There isn't just one glove for all jobs. So how do we know what garden glove best suits the task at hand? Garden Girl have made it easy to find the right pair. The weeding gloves are a great option when sowing seeds, fertilising, spraying, weeding and working with young seedlings, as you can really feel what you're doing. They are waterproof and the underside coating is made of nitrile, which protects your hands from any sprays, chemicals and fertilisers. When gardening in cooler weather, it's nice to have a warm, comfortable pair of gloves to stop your fingertips from going blue. These thermal gloves make gardening in winter a lot more enjoyable. They have a nice thick lining, they're waterproof and a non-slip grip. So when you lift heavy pots, use stones or mulch, it's a lot easier. General purpose gardening gloves are great when tackling heavier tasks. Some have an inbuilt protective cuff which shields your wrists, and the leather gloves are made from goat skin. They are extremely soft, supple and strong. Rose pruning is one of those jobs you either love or you dislike because you never know how many thorns you're going to get stung by. Now, having a proper pair of rose pruning gloves will protect your arms because of these nice long sleeves. Last in the lot is the spandex gloves, which are a great all-rounder. And the best part, the spandex allows the gloves to breathe. Most gloves are unisex and it can be hard to find a pair that fit nicely. Now, Garden Girl gloves are designed for women because their hands are a little bit more narrow and petite. So when you're choosing your next set of gloves, try and choose the right ones for the right job in the garden.
Reducing waste has never been more important. And recycling is a wonderful way of dealing with food and organic waste that's disposed of on a regular basis. Organic materials like food scraps, lawn clippings and shredded paper can all be placed into a bin or compost pile where they break down naturally and the nutrients are returned to the surrounding soils. And just like recycling, it helps the environment. I'm here at the Leederville Community Garden to learn how they sustain a magnificent garden like this one. And the key ingredient is this fantastic stuff. Felicity, this beautiful community garden, it's been a part of your life for around a decade now?
That's right. It's a good 10 years. When I first came here, there was nothing but sandy soil. And with the compost, we've built it up to be a very productive garden.
Absolutely, it's such a sustaining product. You tend to make your compost in layers, don't you? Layers of various products.
Yes, it's like making a huge cake which has got layers in it.
So we start off with our beautiful greens. Next over here we've got animal manure. What sort of animal manures do you use in your compost?
You've got a mix of cow and sheep there.
And then, of course, we come down to our carbon base of all good compost. Straw or hay is such a great product to use in making compost. One of the other things that you've got here is shredded newspaper. What a great use of recycling newspaper. And then, of course, good old lawn clippings.
Yes.
And I can see one of the last secret ingredients, beautiful coffee grounds.
Particularly if it's had cinnamon put in it.
Coffee grounds with cinnamon in them. Oh, just keeps getting better, doesn't it? Building a compost pile is easy. Just layer your materials up in the correct ratios and repeat till your space is filled. So Felicity, in 6 months' time, we remove the cover, the weed mat.
Wow.
Look what we've got.
Beautiful black soil.
Now, you haven't turned this compost, you've just let it be, kept it moist. I find that the best way to make compost, the simplest, the easiest, and the most rewarding.
And you know who does all the work? Earthworms.
What a beautiful, beautiful product it is. Pure gold, smells delicious, almost good enough to eat.
Almost.
Most magnolias originate from Asia and America, and you have two main forms. You've got evergreens and deciduous varieties like this one, and they come in many different shapes and sizes. So you have some small growing shrubs to large trees like this one. So for more fun and great gardening advice, stick with us after the break.
Here's a quick health tip. If your garden beds are full of germinating weed seeds, don't get the spray out, get the hoe out. This is a 3-prong cultivator, and a vigorous turning over of the topsoil will bury the weeds under the soil, turning them into fertiliser for plant roots. And it's going to stop them competing with your favourite plants and causing you back-breaking work later on. Now, if you haven't got time to get out and weed the garden, but you've got time to have a gym membership, you might want to know this. You know, an hour of vigorous hoeing out in the garden is going to burn well over 1,000 calories. This is a terrific way to up your aerobic activity and keep yourself fit. If you want the garden to look great and reduce weeding later on, remember, getting outdoors and grabbing a hoe has never been so much fun. Now you know it's good for you, get out and do it.
The building and renovating boom has been huge. Nearly every street you go down has got a property with some work going on, and I love it. It's great for business, it's great for the economy, and it's also an excellent opportunity to create an energy-efficient home. Being more energy efficient means you'll use less electricity, which is better for the planet and your wallet. High energy costs have left many of us wondering why we're paying so much and what we can do to take control of our energy bills. We are blessed in Australia with an abundance of sunshine, so it just makes sense to harness the sun's energy. Solar energy is a renewable, free source of energy that is sustainable and totally inexhaustible, unlike fossil fuels, which are finite. It is also a non-polluting source of energy when used to produce electricity. When it comes to making your house more energy efficient, the challenge is knowing where to go for the right advice. Solar Heart is the name you can trust. With over 65 years as Australia's solar energy experts, and with over 1 million systems sold worldwide, they are here to give you expert advice. Their systems are designed and manufactured for the harshest Aussie conditions, with quality ingrained in everything they do. Solar Heart offer a range of solar solutions. You could switch to solar hot water. It takes a fair bit of energy to heat water, so it makes sense to get the sun to heat it for you. Or what about solar power? Generating your own clean energy from the sun can help you use less energy from the grid. Or consider battery storage. When combined with a new or existing Solar Heart solar power system, batteries allow you to store excess energy produced during the day for use at any time, particularly when the sun isn't shining. Or you could also store your excess solar power with the latest technology from Solar Heart, a Solar Heart Power Store system, Australia's first solar smart electric water heater. Being clued in when building or renovating will help improve your home's efficiency and save you some dollars. You can get a free on-site solar assessment, quality installation and superior after-sales service from Australia's solar energy experts. Think solar and invest in your energy-efficient home.
This has to be one of my favourite fruits. It's so easy to grow at home. Of course, it's the humble banana. And bananas are happy fruit. They release endorphins in the brain that make you feel happy. So growing them at home is a good idea, and they're easy to grow. But what do you do when you've got a great big banana clump like this and suddenly you get hit by a storm and this occurs and you've got a branch that's broken off and If I was to pick this now, I would lose that bunch, which would be such a shame. But I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to cut this off and I'm not going to cut that off and take it away. What I'm going to do is leave it for the next 3 to 4 weeks, and all the goodness is going to come out of this and go back into the bananas. The sun's going to ripen them, and in 3 to 4 weeks' time, they'll be ready for harvest and we won't lose the fruit. Now, this is a handy tip for all fruiting trees if a branch is broken off a little bit early, which does happen all too often. Just leave them on and you'll end up being able to enjoy the fruit.
I love mowing. The key to it is a good mower and good mowing practice, and that includes the correct mowing height. The most common mistake made is mowing too low, often scalping the lawn to within an inch of its life, and all that does is causes enormous stress and is an open invitation for weeds to establish. How high or low you mow depends on your lawn type, the season, and environmental factors like sun and shade, rain and drought. As a rough guide, fine-leaf grasses like couch and zoysia can be kept shorter than broader leaf buffaloes and kikuyus, and all varieties should be longer in winter. For example, couch and zoysia are about 15 mil in summer, 30 in winter. Buffalo and kikuyu about 30 to 40 mil in summer, 60, maybe 70 in winter. So in mid-late autumn, start raising the mowing height. This is easily done with the deck height adjustment lever on the side of the mower here. The longer leaf enables better photosynthesis and helps reduce weed germination. The best varieties for shade areas are shade-tolerant softleaf buffaloes, but these need to be kept longer in shade for better photosynthesis. In the tropics, broadleaf carpet grass does well in shade too. In dry periods, keeping your lawn on the longer side reduces stress and shades the soil, reducing water loss through evaporation. Keeping your mower in good working order just makes sense. Sharp blades, and before each mow, check the mowing height.
I like to grow a whole rainbow of different fruits and vegetables. Not only do they look good in the garden, but they also look fabulous on the plate. And it's a great way to get a variety of nutrients and disease-fighting goodies into your diet. Red fruits and vegetables like tomatoes are jam-packed with lycopene, a powerful health-boosting antioxidant. Purple vegetables like purple cabbage are rich in anthocyanins, which are also antioxidants and can help to reduce the risk of health problems like heart disease, stroke and cancer. Then we've got our gorgeous orange and yellow vegetables. It's carotenoids in these veggies that give them their vibrant look, but also their health-boosting benefits. Then we have our brown and our white vegetables, which again are jam-packed with phytochemicals, some of which have antibacterial and antiviral properties. And of course, the phytochemicals in our green veggies all have anti-cancer properties. There's nothing fresher and more nutritious than homegrown, so I'm going to pamper this crop with a good dose of Triforte for vegetables and herbs. It's packed with natural minerals, beneficial microbes and beneficial fungi, all of which help to create a healthy living soil environment for these plants to thrive in. So the beneficial microbes break down the natural minerals, which then attach them to the plant roots. The plant's then able to take it up, creating a more nutritious, better tasting crop. Spring is also when fruit trees gear up for the bountiful months ahead. So if you want a super crop with enough for you and the neighbours to share, then you want to use something that looks after the tree from root to tip. Triforte controlled release fertiliser for vegetables, fruit and herbs is specifically designed with fruiting plants in mind. So the mix of nutrients that you've got in here is geared towards producing a bumper crop of fruit and vegetables. But it's actually the beneficial microbes in here which make all of the difference. So up to 24 different strains of beneficial microbes and friendly fungi get to work to build a healthy soil, enhance fruiting and create better yields. So in no time, you'll be harvesting basketfuls of fresh fruit for juices, pies and pastries. Simply spread it over garden beds and mix it through the topsoil, or mix it through the backfill when planting. Just be sure to water it in to activate those microbes in the soil and get them working hard. If you want to give your fruit and veg a real boost, add Triforte liquid plant food to your feeding regime. Use it in conjunction with the granular foods and you'll see amazing results. It feeds the microbes, feeds the soil, and then feeds the plant. And unlike any liquid food, it lasts up to 3 months.
If you're getting stuck into some spring planting and you're looking for an easy way to feed your plants and nourish your soils, then keep an eye out for Treforte plant tablets. You quite simply put the required number of tablets in the planting hole, water it in and watch your plants take off. So it looks like it's set to be a bumper harvest. When you see bulbs burst into bloom, you know that spring is in the air. I'm a fan of the set and forget bulbs, so like the daffodils and jonquils that multiply year after year and form a carpet of colour like this. So for more great spring gardening inspiration, join us after the break on The Garden Gurus.
Roses should have been pruned all over Australia by now, but if you haven't pruned yours, don't worry. You can still do it now. They just need a good trim. Now, one of the dilemmas you're going to face when you actually give them a prune is, what do I do with all the excess wood, all those clippings that are left over? Well, you do have to be careful how you handle them. If you let the prunings sit around and dry, then they're guaranteed to prick your hands or feet at some point in the future. But if you're shredding them through a mulcher, the results might be equally problematic. Now, once upon a time, I used to shred these up and use them as a green compost over the top of the soil underneath the pruned roses. But I started identifying that there were a few problems. You see, when you go and crush this all up, it's full of sugars. And if there's fungal diseases here, they use that sugar to spread rapidly through the soil. You end up creating a base of a huge range of disease problems that are going to affect your roses as they start to grow out in the spring. I'm not a massive fan of burn-offs, but when it comes to diseased wood, this is the best way to arrest the spread of disease on your new foliage. If you don't have a fire pit or incinerator, it may need to go into the compost bin, but make sure that it gets super hot. One way to cheat that into happening is by adding some urea. So the real message here is to make sure that you know where green waste has come from. If it's your own rose clippings, if it's green waste that you bought in and you're not sure about it, well, the best thing you can do is hot compost it and try and burn any of those pathogens out. You know, a good clean mulch, a good clean, free of any disease mulch is so important in a happy garden. This is a very important time of the year. There's one job you do right now that, well, it's so important because the end of winter is your last chance to be transplanting deciduous trees and shrubs. And there are a few tricks which I will share with you, including the horticulturalist cheat. I shouldn't do it, I'm going to get in trouble, but it guarantees you success every time. This is a Tinkerbell apple. Now, they're only meant to grow 3 to 4 metres in height, and this is 4 years old. And it's at 5 metres currently. I think I've fed it a bit too much, but the reality is I'm not happy with it being in this place, and moving it is a priority right now. In a month, it's going to start producing flowers and growth shoots, so it's now or never. Now, my primary objective in pruning this tree is to remove 30 to 50%, in fact, at least 50% of the wood in shaping the tree up. But there's another really important reason, and that's when we dig the tree out, I'm going to take 50% of the root system away. Those roots feed the shoots. If there's too many branches, the tree's not going to grow away. There's going to be a lot of dead wood sitting in the tree. So by pruning it now, it's going to get it right for later on. This is a very important tip. The goal when pruning the apple is to create a shape, and they have a naturally occurring columnar shape, very upright. But this doesn't make picking apples easy. So I'm taking the heart of this tree out and pruning the required branches to an outward leading bud. Now, this should train the tree to stretch outwards, making the picking process easier in the future. I'm also leaving a number of leader new branches in place. Now, this is because this apple variety is very different to the others in that it fruits from first-year wood, the newest growth from the previous year, where most other varieties fruit from older wood. The digging process is next. Now, these trees have a shallow root system that extends outwards. So digging a metre out from the trunk in a circle will remove at least 50% of the root system. The soil is sandy in this part of the garden, so it does make digging a bit easier. All right, well, this is the next stage, the most important stage, and it's planting the tree in its new home. Now, we've got all the shape right and everything else, but there is a trick that horticulturalists use to guarantee that transplants will take, and it's all about stimulating new root growth, fine feeder roots really, really quickly. And the way we do it, we use seaweed. Now, seaweed's full of all sorts of beneficial, well, sea minerals, but most importantly, plant amino acids, and they stimulate the root growth we need. But not all seaweeds are the same. Sea salt is loved and trusted by gardeners everywhere. Its many benefits are quite incredible. Most importantly here, soaking the root system whilst bare is vitally important. As the tree is being planted into the new hole, I'm adding a wheelbarrow of the soil from where it came. The tree is then secured with a large stake and the soil around the roots soaked in a sea salt solution again. Well, there you go. An apple tree in the right spot in the garden. The good news is you can transplant any deciduous tree or shrub this time of the year. Now is the time to do it. Make sure you've got a sharp spade. Give it a good prune. The secateurs have to be nice and sharp. And most importantly, don't forget the sea salt. Well, how fantastic is spring in the garden this time of the year? Where I live, it's still pretty cool, so a lot of plants that would normally have popped into flower still haven't, like this plum. But that's the exciting thing. There's so much good stuff to come, including the Garden Gurus next week when we'll be back. If you want any information from today's show, download a fact sheet or see a video or maybe check out some of the articles from some of our magazine archives. All you have to do is visit our website. And if you've got a question, become a friend on Facebook. We love answering your questions. I'm Trevor Cochrane. We'll see you next week for the Garden Gurus.